Okay, good evening, good morning, everyone. Sorry, not good evening, it's good morning. It's 11 a.m. So, good morning, everyone. And today we are starting with the last lap to IPMAT. We are looking at IIM Indore. And आज पहला session है इसका. What we are doing is we'll be discussing the actual papers of IPMAT. And there we look at how you should have attempted the paper. Because ultimately, when you look at these papers, there's something special about these papers. And we will discuss about that in a minute. So let me first share my screen and then we'll get started with the session. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. So I hope the screen is visible to everyone. Let me see on my... Yes, the screen is visible. And I hope the आवाज भी आ रही है सही. Harpal, you can confirm if the voice is okay. Okay. If there's any issue, let me know. Otherwise, I'll assume everything is fine and I'll get started with the session. Okay. So we are looking at, as I said, IPMAT, the last step, and we'll be discussing the IIM Indore 2024 paper, which is the last year's paper. Okay. But before that, IPMAT, this paper is important for you because there are so many institutes to it. Okay. So extremely important that you are able to take care of these issues. It's extremely important that you are able to do well in the paper because this will allow you to get into an institute of your choice. And there are quite a few of them. Okay. And so Indore, Shillong, Ranchi, these are the top three. Then you have Amritsar, Sirmaur, Nirma University, IFT Kakinada is again a good option, and then these two also, the Tapni and Nalsa. So the 5-year MBA programs are available, and Sirmaur is a 4-year BMS, but nevertheless, it's a very good program. Okay. Chalo, okay. And everyone knows the pattern. I'm not going to spend time on it. Just quickly tell you that there are 3 sections of 40 minutes each. First section is quantitative aptitude or quantitative ability short answer, which means there are no choices. You have to solve the question, type in the answer using the keyboard. This has got 15 questions. Then you have 30 questions MCQ, which means the choices are given. You need to pick the right choice, and verbal is only MCQ. There are 90 questions, all 15, 30, 45, 40 minutes per section. Okay? And the marking scheme, all of us know, +4 and -1. Now, which also means there's a negative marking. So what that effectively tells you, if there's a negative marking in the paper, that means any error is going to be penalized. Okay. So what many people think is that negative marking incorrect answer means I lose -1. No, there's not a loss of 1 mark. Okay. It is a loss of 5 minutes of time. Okay. Typically, you'll find most of the questions जो गलत हो रहे हैं, they are the one in which you have spent more time as compared to others. Especially when you look at short answer or the MCQ, you would have spent, if not more, at least 4 to 5 minutes in the question. So what effectively boils down is 4-5 minutes लगा के -1 ले लिया, which is something you should be worrying about. So the right questions to attempt becomes extremely important. And the second part is this paper has sectional time limits and sectional cutoffs, which means in each of these sections, sectional time limit बात कर लिया ना, 40 मिनट हर सेक्शन को मिलेंगे. टाइम बच गया तो कुछ नहीं, खाली बैठो. टाइम कम पड़ गया तो nothing, you can't do anything about it. Okay. So you need the minimum score in each of these sections, and you need the overall score also. Okay. So it is extremely important that you manage your time well. If you don't manage your time well in each of the 3 sections, you are going to struggle as far as this paper is concerned. Okay. Okay. And ये बहुत जरूरी है देखना. Okay. Now I'll just look at the general category, but you can look at the others also depending on your category. Now please look at the short answer question of general category. Cutoff 22, 23, 24. Similarly MCQ for the 3 years and the verbal for the 3 years. Okay. What does this tell you? This tells you that the clearing the sectional cutoff of quant is very, very easy. 6 questions were all that was required out of 15. Okay, 6 questions out of 15 were required. I'll just write down that part. This has 15 questions. MCQ is 30 questions. And verbal is 45 questions. So out of 15 questions of quant, short answer, in 40 minutes, you needed to do only 6 questions correctly to clear the cutoff. Okay. Or in other words, you have about 6 to 7 minutes per question. Or if you say, I can attempt about 10 questions in this particular section, you have about 4 minutes per question. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the next one, which is the MCQ, 30 questions out of 30, only 9 were required to be solved correctly. Okay. And this again is in 40 minutes. Okay. Okay. And in these 40 minutes, you can probably do something like 20 questions. Okay. If not 20, maybe 17, 18 questions, let's say 17 questions. Okay. In these in this much time. And if you can do about, this is 10 questions, and which will imply something like 2.5 minutes per question. Okay. So please remember, jahan tak ye papers ki baat hai, you need to be clear that there is sufficient time to do the right number of questions, but the problem happens when you try to do all questions. Okay. And verbal is the biggest thing. Out of 45 questions in 40 minutes, you needed 29 correct answers. Okay. Now, English is not a section जिसमें time की कमी होगी. English you will wait, you will have a challenge only if you start, let's say, splitting hairs. Otherwise, English is very simple. जो समझ आता है mark करो answer, चलते जाओ, ज़्यादा सोचो मत. Unlike Quant, the essay and the MCQ, verbal ability section, you have sufficient time to complete the paper, complete the section, while the time is lacking or you don't have sufficient time to complete the section for essay, Quant or Quant MCQ. And this is where you need to make sure you are doing the right thing in the paper. इस पेपर को खराब करने का बहुत सिंपल तरीका होता है, सब अटेम्प्ट करने लग जाओ. Your job is not to attempt all questions. Okay. 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 Your job is to attempt the right questions. Okay. Now, again, if you look at the overall score, this is what the scenario is. Okay. Again, if you look at this part, 24 plus 35 makes it 59. 59 plus 113 makes it 62, 72, 172. While the total of the 3 sections combined was 172 for general category, the cutoff was about 60 marks above that. And that's the norm. Okay. But if you look at the past papers also, what is the highest you have seen for Quant essay? 6 questions. For Quant MCQ, about 11 questions. And English, about 31 questions. So even if I look at the highest score for all 3 sections in the last 3 years, what are we talking about? We are talking about 6 questions of Quant essay, the highest in the last 3 years, 11 questions of MCQ, so 11 and 6, 17, and 31 questions in verbal, so 17 and 31, 48. So you need to do 48 questions out of 90. What does this mean? About 50%. To be sure of clearing the cutoff. Okay? To be sure of clearing the cutoff. But if I look at this is out of 90 questions, 4 marks per question, so this is out of 360. Okay? Okay. So this is about 65%. So about 65% marks is what you need to be able to get a call. And I'm sure school में तुम सबके 65% number आ जाते हैं. So 65-70% is what you're looking at. And please remember, the bulk of the marks will come from English. If you think without doing well in English, you can get a call from IIM Indore, no, it won't happen. The focus has to be ensuring that English अच्छा हो जाए. Quant and Quant के अंदर you do what you are capable of doing in the given amount of time. Okay. Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll look at the IIM Indore paper. Okay. Now before we go to this paper, एक छोटी सी चीज है. Let us try to understand how you should attempt the paper. Okay. The paper should be attempted in 2 or 3 rounds. Round 1 and round 2 are important. Round 3 is a list of questions that you should not be attempting. Now, what are round 1 questions? Round 1 questions are the ones which are easy for you, which you can solve within, let's say, 3 minutes or so. Okay. Round 3 questions are the ones we do not understand. Which you don't know how to solve. And hence, what is remaining is called the round 2 question. Now, what is critical about round 2 question is that these are questions which are solvable by you, but take time. Let's say they will take you 5+ minutes to solve. Okay. Or you are not sure. You think you can, but you are not sure. If you are not confident of solving it. Okay. So these are the questions you are not confident. You think you can do it, but you are not confident. Now these are the questions you keep for later. Please remember, the most important thing in the paper is to ensure the round 1 question, the easy question तुमने कर लिए हैं. ये सारे सवाल कर लोगे तो सेक्शन का टॉपिक क्लियर हो जाता है, and you will definitely be able to get a good score in quant essay as well as MCQ. Your focus should be to ensure you don't miss out on any easy question, and you should be able to, you should also ensure you do not attempt any of the difficult questions. So round 2, round 3 चिंता मत करो, छूट जाएंगे तो छूट जाएंगे. Easy question, which is the round 1 question for you, is something you should definitely be able to attempt. Okay, I hope this is fine. Okay, now we'll start discussing the paper. And as we are discussing the paper, what I also want you to do is, कहीं पे doubt होता है तो please सवाल पूछ लेना. The question will come to you and I'll try to address your doubts also. Okay? But the idea is you identify which questions to attempt first. Okay? You identify which questions to attempt first. Okay? Because when you're looking at the question as such, okay? When you're looking at the question as such, as I said, there will be some questions which are easy for you. Those are the ones you have to attempt. The questions which are difficult or not solvable by you are something you should not be attempting. And the question mark ones, which means शायद हो जाएगा, शायद नहीं होगा, पक्का छोड़ देने होते हैं. Your focus has to be ensuring ये कुछ नहीं miss हो. After you have done all these questions, then you can worry about the round 2 question. Round 3 की तो number ही नहीं आता है मेरे हिसाब से. Okay. Now let's look at this thing. So what I'll do is I'll start with the first section, which is a short answer question. And in this we will look at each question asked us. ये round 1 है, round 2 है, कि नहीं करना है. And my job is, as I said, to ensure I will attempt only round 1 questions first. If I have time, I'll come back and do it in round 2. Okay. Okay. Oh, बहुत आगे भाग गया. Okay. First question. Okay. The number of triangles with integer sides. Okay. Number of triangles with integer sides with perimeter 15 is how many? Now, what is this question? This is a round 1 question. Why is it a round 1 question? Because मुझे मालूम है that the sum of sides of two triangle of a triangle has to be greater than the third one, and the difference between the sides of two triangles of a triangle has to be difference has to be also greater. Okay, so these are the two things that I need to be looking at. So मैं इसको करता जाऊंगा. I'll start making cases. After all, how many cases will I make? Remember, this is a short answer question. In a short answer question, how much time do I have? If I have to attempt about 10 questions in 40 minutes, I have about 4 minutes per question. So any question which I can solve within 4 minutes is a question I'll be happy solving in the paper. Okay. चलो अब ये सवाल देखते हैं. Let's start solving it. Round 1. Cases बनाना शुरू करो. When you make cases, एक गलती बहुत लोग करते हैं, haphazard हो जाते हैं, random हो जाते हैं. नहीं. Start from one extreme, go to the other extreme. So if I have to start with this, I will start by saying, let me start with the first one, which is 1. 1, 7, 7. Okay. Any other case with 1? No. Next is 2. Now अब कोई भी केस में मेरे को 1 लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, because 1 के सारे केस में कवर हो गए. 2. 13 बचा है. 6 and 7. Okay, what else with 2? 6 and 7, 13 plus 2, 15. 5 and 8. Possible? No, 2 plus 5 is 7. And the third side is 8. We know that the sum of two sides of a triangle has to be greater than the third side. So this is a wrong case and I can ignore it completely. So 2, 6, 7, there's only one case with 2. Okay. Okay. Any other case possible? Okay. 2, 6, 7. Anyone? Okay. 2, 5, 8. No. Okay. चलो फिर 3 पे आ जाते हैं. Okay. If we have 3. Okay. That means out of 15, 3 gone 12. So 3, 6, 6. Perfectly fine. 6 plus 3, 9 is greater than 6. Then we have 3, 5, 7. 7 plus 5, 5 plus 3, 8 is greater than 7. So this is also fine. Okay. Next, 3, 4, 7 and 8, 15. Long case. Why? Because this is 7 and 7 is less than 8. So not possible. Now I have covered all cases with 3, so I'll start with 4. 11 left, 4, 5, 6. Okay. What about 4, 4, 7? 7, 4, 11, 4, 15. 4 plus 4, 8 is greater than 7. 4 plus 5, 9 is greater than 6. So perfectly fine. Okay. Any other case? What about 4, 3, 8? Not possible. Why? 7 is less than 8. Sum of two sides has to be greater than the third side. Okay. Then we have next one will be 5, 5, 5. Okay. Anything else? I cannot add any more cases. So the answer is 7. Okay. Now please look at this. Kitna time laga sawal solve karne mein? The critical thing is do it systematically and don't rush through it, because if you rush through it or you don't do systematically, you're going to miss out on the cases and you will get a wrong answer. So this was a round 1 question for us. Okay. Question number 2, round 2. देख के समझ के पता चल गया कि ये क्या है, statistics है. So the question you need to ask yourself is, am I comfortable in statistics or not? If yes, then there's a round 2 question, because एक सवाल है, इतना सारा काम करके पता चलेगा, टाइम लगेगा, तो इसको राउंड 2 में आके देखेंगे. बट इफ यू से आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स, मुझे समझ नहीं आती, देन देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन टू बी लेफ्ट. सो आइदर देयर इज अ राउंड 2 क्वेश्चन और अ क्वेश्चन टू बी लेफ्ट. इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स, अ राउंड 2 क्वेश्चन. इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स, अ क्वेश्चन यू शुड लीव स्ट्रेट अवे एंड मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Third question. The price of chocolate is increased by X% and then reduced by X%. The new price is 96.76%. What is X? Round 1 question, percentages ka hai. There's a straightforward formula. If the price goes up by X% and it then reduces by X%, overall there will be a reduction of X square by 100%. This will be the reduction. Okay. Minus sign indicates nothing but reduction. So overall change is X square by 100 and minus sign indicates reduction. Now the new price is 96.76% of the original price. So what is a reduction? This implies reduction will be equal to 100 minus 98.76%, which is equal to 3.24%. What does it mean? X square by 100 is equal to 3.24, or X square is equal to 324, or X is equal to 18. Correct answer is 18. This is a round 1 question. इसमें तो 2 minute भी नहीं लगे. The only time you took was to read the question and write down the formula of X square by 100. This is a question which is less than 2 minute question. This is a round 1 question. You cannot afford to miss this question. तो ये सवाल मिस कर दिया है तो थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम तो होगी आपको. Okay. Question 4. A fruit seller has oranges, apples and bananas in the ratio of 3:6:7. Okay. So he has oranges, apples, bananas in the ratio of 3:6:7. If the number of oranges is a multiple of both 3 and 6, then the minimum number of fruits the seller has is. Okay. Now, if the number of fruits of number of oranges is a multiple of 5 and 6, which is the smallest number of multiple of 5 and 6? 30. So can I say the minimum number of oranges has to be 30, because the smallest number, which is a multiple of 5 and 6, is 30. So this is 3:6:7. That means if oranges has become 30, apple should become 60 and banana should be 70. So 70 plus 30 plus 60 is 160. यार ये भी सवाल 2 मिनट से कम का सवाल है. I want you to notice that देखो अगर ये सवाल सॉल्व हो सकता हो जाएगा, बट इसमें टाइम लग सकता है. देखो मालूम नहीं है क्या सवाल है ये. Many of you may struggle. It is important to leave the question which are likely to consume time. बट ये सवाल क्वेश्चन 1 पक्का हो जाएगा, क्वेश्चन 3 बहुत आसानी से हो जाएगा, क्वेश्चन 4 बहुत पहले इनको तो कर लो, मुश्किल सवाल को बाद में देख लेंगे. So this is 160, question number 4. Okay. Question number 5. Okay. A person A borrows 4,000 from another person B for a duration of 4 years. He borrows a portion at 3% simple interest, while the rest at 4% simple interest. If B gets 520 rupees as the total interest, then the amount A borrowed at 3% per annum is how much? This is a round one question of allegation. This is round one. बहुत लोग इसको complicate कर देते हैं, equation बना लेते हैं. But if you look at allegation, you can use it directly. What is it? There are two different types of interest, 3% and 4%. The amount borrowed is 4,000. If the entire amount is borrowed at 3%, what will be the annual interest? 3% of 4,000. 1% is nothing but 10% is 400, 1% is 40, so 3%. So, if you look at the entire amount being lent at 3%, you would have got a 120 rupee interest per year. Okay? Interest per year. If the entire amount was at 4% interest, that means you would have got an interest of 160 rupees per year. What is the interest we have received here? 520 is for 4 years. So annual interest will be 520 by 4, which is equal to 130 rupees per year. So the average is 130. What is this ratio? 160 minus 30. 130 is 30. And this is 10. So the ratio is 30 is to 10. All 3 is to 1. So 4,000 has to be distributed in the rate of 3,000 is to 1,000. Okay. So how much amount was borrowed at 3%? 3,000 rupees. Okay. So straightforward question of allegation. ये वाला सवाल करना ज्यादा जरूरी है ना कि मुश्किल सवाल करने. Okay. So please look at it. So far, how many questions we have done in round one? First question, third question, 2, 3, 4. 5 में से 4 कर लिए और एक को हमने छोड़ दिया. उसको छोड़ने की तकलीफ मत करो. Leaving question is a good idea always. Okay. The number of pairs xy satisfying this inequality. Okay. X minus 5, mod of x minus 5 plus mod of y minus 5 is less than or equal to 6. Now this is either a round 1 or a round 2 or a round 3 question depending on the individual. Okay. Now for many of you who understand modulus straight away सीधे कर दोगे. कोई shortcut नहीं है, पूरा solve करोगे. जिनको समझ नहीं आता है छोड़ दो. Those of you can do it but can get confused. It is round 2, sorry. So this question could be any of them, any of the 3 depending upon your comfort with this particular topic. If you don't understand mods, कोई बात नहीं, छोड़ दो सवाल, बाद में सोचेंगे इसके बारे में. And end of the day, time मिलेगा भी नहीं इसके बारे में सोचने का, चिंता नहीं करनी. But if you understand modulus, please do it immediately and solve it. So it is either a round 1 or round 2 or round 3 for you. For those of you who are not very comfortable with modulus, it is a round 2 question. So I will not say in round 1, unlike the previous question, ये miss हो गया. चलो उसको पहले देख लेते हैं. Unlike this question, which is a round 1 question for everyone. Okay. Question 7 is not a round 1 question for everyone, but let's look at question number 6. Okay. There's a question of logs. So this is either a round 1 or a round 3 question. Okay. It is either a round 1 or a round 3 question depending on your comfort with that topic. If you understand logs, it's a straightforward round 1 question. कोई shortcut नहीं, चुपचाप solve हो जाएगा. लेकिन if you don't understand logs, then it is a round 3 question. Leave it. तो जो समझ नहीं आता ना उसको छोड़ने में तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay, very quickly just to get you started, जिनको आता है लेकिन confident नहीं हो, 4 is nothing but 2 square. It becomes 2 to power 2 log of x base 2. This becomes x square minus 4x plus 9 is nothing but 3 square log of y base 3. So I can remove this 2 and put it as y square minus 16y plus 68 equal to 0. What does that become? This becomes x square minus 4x plus y square minus 16y plus 68 equal to 0. Now this is a standard way of doing these questions. Now this is a question which I will do it in round 1 because the standard way of doing this question, जिनको log समझ नहीं आता छोड़ दे तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं. For both of you, most of you said कि ये round 2 में करना चाहिए है. If I will say then maybe you need to practice this kind of question. If you understand logs, this is a kind of question which comes fairly often. ये standard तरीके solve करने का, इसका तुम equation बनाना सीख लो. Okay. And what is this going to be? Your job is to convert everything to x plus y whole square, x minus y whole square. After all, if I look at this is minus 2, okay, if I say x minus 2 whole square, what does it become? This becomes x square minus 4x plus 4. So I have added a 4. The moment I have written this, from here, I should subtract a 4 because this includes plus 4. Okay. Similarly, if I look at the other, this is minus, can I write it as y minus 4 whole square? What is this? Y square minus 16, sorry, minus 16y plus 16. Minus 8y, sorry. 16y. Y minus 2ab. Oh, sorry, गलत हो गया. 16y है ना? Y minus 8, sorry. Okay. What will become? Y square minus 16y plus 64 हो गया. So I should do a minus 64 also. And so this is also taken care of. Plus 68 equal to 0. Okay. So what does it become? Effectively, this becomes nothing but plus 68 gets cancelled with this. X minus 2 whole square plus y minus 8 whole square is equal to 0. That means x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 8 and y minus x equal to 6. This is a round 1 question or round 3 question. Log समझ नहीं आता तो छोड़ दो. Log आता है लेकिन confident नहीं है, उसका मतलब practice नहीं किया, practice करो. This is a standard question and standard questions should always be attempted in the paper without any worries by using the standard process. Okay. इसकी already बात कर चुके हैं. ठीक है. Okay. Number of factors of 1800 that are multiples of 6. Round 1. Number of factors के सवाल तो बहुत किए होंगे ना, इसको कैसे छोड़ देंगे हम? What is 1800? 18 is nothing but 18 into 100. 100 is nothing but 4 into 25, 2 square into 5 square. And what is 18? 2 into 3 square. So what does 1800 become equal to? 2 cube into 3 square into 5 square. Now if the number has to be a multiple of 6, that means it should always be the factor should definitely have both 2 and 3. So what are the powers of 2 which are possible? It can be 2 to power 1 or 2 or 3. 3 cases possible. And what powers of 3 are possible? 3 to power 1 or 3 to power 2. 2 cases possible. And how many powers of 5 possible? All 3. 0, 1, 2. So how many cases are possible? How many factors of 1800 will be multiple of 6? 3 into 2 into 3. 3 3 is 9 into 2, 18. Straightforward answer. Okay. आपका काम है easy questions करते जाना, मुश्किल छोड़ते जाना. Okay. Okay, थोड़ा सा हिला हुआ है, but let me write it down. The number of real solution of this equation is how many? Okay. Now x square minus 15x plus 55 raised to power x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 1. This is a question. Okay. Now you tell me, round 1 or round 2? You could do it in round 1 if you think you know exactly क्या करना है, कर सकते हो. You could also do it in round 2 because time लगेगा. Time क्यों लगेगा? This is a to power b equal to 1. When will this happen? When a is equal to 1. पहला case. Second, b equal to 0. Anything raised to power 0. Third case, a equal to minus 1 and b is positive. B is even. If a is minus, because minus 1 raised to power any even number will be equal to 1. So इसमें मेरे पास 3 cases बनते हैं. Because there are 3 cases, to me it is a round 2 question. For me this is a round 2 question, not a round 1 question. But some of you might say कि यार मेरे को आता है, मालूम है 4-5 मिनट लगेंगे लेकिन कर लेते हैं. I don't have an issue with that also. Provided you are 100% sure क्या करना है. Okay, this is a round 2 question as far as I am concerned. Okay, because of 3 cases to be checked. But as I said, if you are happy checking 3 cases in round 1 itself, but if you are going to do this in round 1, please make sure you are willing to spend 5 minutes on this question. Okay. So if you are willing to spend about 5 minutes round 1 में कर लो, नहीं तो round 2 में आके देख लेना. Okay. What is my problem? My problem is I don't want to do a lengthy question and miss out on easy and short questions. अरे ये तो एक और आ गया, statistics, same. Now it becomes important for me. So which means what will I do in round 2? I look at both the question. एक और था ना पहले question 2 या 3. Question 2. So in round 2, I will look at both of them have the same data. In round 2, I look at question 2 and question 10 together because both of them are statistics. And if you don't understand statistics, पे तो दोनों ही नहीं करने. But if you understand statistics, then ये round 2 के दो सवाल एक साथ करेंगे. ठीक है? चलो वापस आते हैं. आगे चलते हैं. In a group of 150 students, 52 like tea, 48 like juice, 62 like coffee. Each student in the group likes, if each student in the group likes at least one amongst tea, coffee, and juice, then the maximum number of students who like more than one. We want to find maximum number of students that like more than one. More than one. Not all three, but more than one. Okay. Simple question है तो. Venn diagram वाला. चाहे तो चित्रकारी करके बना लेंगे, चाहे वैसे कर लेंगे. So we have total of 150 students, 52 like tea, 48 like juice, and 62 like coffee. Okay. What is the total going to be? 62 plus 48, 100, and 10 plus 52, 162. The total is 162. Out of one, instead of 150 students, we are getting a total of 162. So minus 150, what does it give? 12. Now, where will we put them? We'll put them in this. So we are looking at maximum number of students who like more than one drink is, that means all of them are going to be in exactly 2. So which means the answer should be 12. Had the question asked for, the question asked for maximum number. Had the question asked for minimum number. But kya hota answer? For minimum, where will we put all of them? We'll put all of them out here. Then the answer would have been 12 by 2 equal to 6. So minimum is 6. The question ने ask किया था 12 maximum, so 12 है. Venn diagram का standard question है, इसलिए फिगर की जरूरत नहीं. फिगर मैंने खाली बनाया है क्योंकि आपको मैं बताना चाहता था minimum के लिए exactly 3 में आएगा, maximum के लिए it will come in exactly 2. Okay. Okay. So this is again is a round 1 question. I don't know if you have noticed cutoff clear हो गई आपकी, जल्दी से देख लेते हैं. Despite leaving so many questions on the way. Question 1. Question 3, that is 2 questions. Third question, fourth question. ये वाले को मैं छोड़ देता हूं क्योंकि कई लोग राउंड 2 में करेंगे. ये भी छोड़ दिया हमने. Question 8 we have attempted. Question 9 again I'm saying round 2 में आएगा. Question 10 छोड़ दिया. Question 11. How many questions? 6 questions solved. So cutoff cleared. Okay, cutoff has been cleared. But and हमारे पास कितना टाइम लगेगा? Not more than 15-17 minutes. शायद worst case में 20 minutes लगे होंगे. And 20 minutes लगे हैं अगर, तो शायद आपने ये वाला सवाल भी कर लिया है या फिर आपने logs वाला सवाल भी कर लिया है. Okay? So remember, you have already cleared the cutoff. Important चीज ये है कि मुश्किल सवाल छोड़ते जाने, आसान सवाल करते जाने. अरे वाह, round 2. Now I'm saying as stats के 3 सवाल हैं and same data seems to be in question number 2, question 10 and question 12. ये तीनों के तीनों round 2 में आराम से आपके करूंगा. Okay? Leave. Round 3 मतलब करना ही नहीं है मुझे. क्यों? कौन टाइम बर्बाद करेगा इसके ऊपर? ठीक है, अगर करना भी है ना, बाकी पूरा पेपर खत्म करके then you come back and do it. When I say paper, completing the section, then you can worry about it. Question 14. Let ABC be a triangle right angled at B with AB equal to BC equal to 18. AB equal to BC equal to 18. बहुत अच्छा सवाल है ये. क्यों? क्योंकि isosceles triangle दे दिया. Okay. AB equal to BC equal to 18, right angle at B. Okay, perfect. The area of the largest triangle that can be inscribed in a circle so that B is one of the vertices. So है square ही बनेगा यार. देखो isosceles triangle है ना, तो square ही बनेगा. ठीक है. So मेरा तो बहुत simple. This has to be 9981. Please remember, regular figure के अंदर regular figure maximum होगा. इट विल नॉट बी अ इरेगुलर फिगर. ओके, बट अगर तुम मैथमेटिकली भी करना चाहते हो तो ठीक है, कर लेना है. इफ दिस इज x, दिस इज 18 minus x, this is also 18 minus x, and if this is y, this will be 18 minus y. Now apply similar triangle ka theorem. After all, this triangle is similar to ABC. This triangle is also similar to ABC. So you can do similarity करके x की वैल्यू y की वैल्यू निकाल सकते हो. बट टाइम मत बर्बाद करना, उस पर करना चाहो कर सकते हो, खाली बैठे हो, you can do that. But otherwise, straight away it should be the answer has to be a perfect square. Okay, it will be a perfect square. In a regular figure, the maximum area will always be of a regular figure only, which means the biggest rectangle will be definitely a square. Okay, चलो चलो जिनको कंफ्यूजन है उनको मैं बता देता हूं. If you look at this particular triangle, let me just go to the relevant triangles. Okay. Let me say which two triangles I am looking at. If you look at this triangle and this triangle, if you look at these two triangles, both are similar triangles because there's a parallel line. So this angle is equal to this angle. There's 90 degree, there's 90 degree. Obviously, the third angle will be equal. So I can say x upon 18 minus x is equal to, compared to ABC, 18 upon 18. This upon this is equal to this upon this. Okay, that means x is equal to 18 minus x, or x is equal to 9. Similarly, you'll get y equal to 9. Okay. करना चाहो कर लो, मैं तो सीधा ही दिमाग कर दूंगा. But round one question है either way. Question 15. Okay. Let f and g be two functions defined by fx equal to x plus mod of x plus mod x and gx equal to 1 by x for x dash equal to 0. Let me just see. Question में कुछ गलती दिख रही है टाइपिंग में. लगता है फॉर्मेट का कुछ इशू आ गया है. Let me just have a look at the question. If x is not equal to 0, I am sorry. That is, x is not equal to 0. This is x is not equal to 0. If fa plus g of fa equal to 13 by 6, then the maximum possible value of f of ga. We are looking for maximum possible value of f of ga. Round 2. हो जाएगा, हाँ हो जाना चाहिए. मैक्सिमम वैल्यू थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है, तो आई विल डू दैट. इसमें कैलकुलेशन आएंगे. आई हैव टू डू द एंटायर थिंग. So there's a round 2 question for me. Now I want you to look at these questions again. Which are the round 1 questions we have done? Out here, the round 1 question. Let me just quickly go through them and try to put all the questions which we have looked at. Iske andar. Okay. 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 11, 14. Okay. So in round 1, we have done questions 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 11, 14. How many questions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 questions. Round 2 के लिए हमने क्या आइडेंटिफाई करा हुआ अभी ऑलरेडी? स्टैटिस्टिक्स के 3 सवाल थे, उनको 1 मिनट के लिए छोड़ देता हूं. क्वेश्चन 2, 12 को छोड़ देता हूं, 2, 10, 12 को. बट लेट्स लुक एट राउंड 2 में कौन से हैं सवाल. क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 इज अ राउंड 2 क्वेश्चन बिकॉज बहुत लोग लॉग्स में नहीं आता है, करेंगे. जिनको आता है उनके लिए राउंड 1 क्वेश्चन है, उनके लिए एक एक्स्ट्रा राउंड 1 क्वेश्चन है. फॉर मी दिस वाज अ राउंड 1 क्वेश्चन बिकॉज आई अंडरस्टैंड लॉग्स. सो क्वेश्चन 6. क्वेश्चन 7 अगेन इज अ राउंड 2 क्वेश्चन सॉल्वेबल. क्वेश्चन 9. Okay, 6, 7, 9. Okay. 6, 7, 9 are round 2 questions. Okay. Okay. Questions 6, 7, 9, and the 3 questions of statistics, which is questions 2, 10, and 12. Now, बताओ यार, ये 7 सवाल maybe would have taken about 25 minutes to solve. In the balance 15 minutes, you can at least do 3 questions more. या तो stats कर लोगे या ये कर लोगे. So attempting about 10 questions in this section is not a challenge. Okay. I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay. हमें 6 करने थे, हमने पहले राउंड 1 में 7 सवाल कर लिए, एंड राउंड 2 में 3 से 5 सवाल और कर सकते हैं डिपेंडिंग ऑन आवर कंफर्ट विद द टॉपिक्स. I hope this is fine. Any questions, any doubts so far? Okay, nothing. So चलो आगे चलते हैं फिर. What we'll do now is we will look at the MCQ section. Same rule. Rule क्या अब खाली है round 1, round 2, round 3. Round 3 को तो छोड़ देते हैं. Questions to be left because we don't understand. They are very time consuming. We are completely sure कि गलती करेंगे. Easy. Less than 2 minutes per question. Or let's say worst case 3 minutes per question. Solvable, but more than 3 minutes per question. And or alternately, solvable but not sure. जो not sure है ना, शायद हो जाएगा, ये पक्का round 2 के लिए होते हैं. Don't do them in round 1. शायद हो जाएगा because शायद के चक्कर में time बहुत waste होता है. So please remember, round 2 questions are the one which you do it only if you have time. Round 1 question is what you definitely do. Round 3 are not to be attempted at all. And we'll do the same thing again. Okay. Mod of x plus 1 plus y plus 2 whole square is 0, then ax plus 3ay equal to 1, then what is the value of it? Now, ये देखो यार, ये तो round 1 question है, and there's a standard question. इन क्वेश्चन का एक सिंपल जुगाड़ होता है यार, ये स्टैंडर्ड तरीका है इसका. Okay? There's a standard way of solving the question. This is mod of x plus 1 plus. The only thing, all these questions are 0 plus 0 equal to 0. This is always positive. This can never be negative. This can never be negative. You will find quadratic में भी ऐसे बहुत सवाल आते हैं. Remember, this is one question in round 1. इसमें soft answer में भी था, short answer में भी था ना. हाँ, ये वाला, ये भी वही है ना. 0 plus 0 equal to 0. You have this basic concept of 0 plus equal to 0. Sum of two squares or sum of two mods can be 0. Only both of them are 0. Okay. So ये वाले सवाल हमेशा करे जाते हैं because these are questions which are basically using this concept. And if you look at the old papers of IPMAT, ये concept बहुत सवालों में दिखेगा. So जहां पे भी तुमको 0 plus 0 दिखता है equal to 0, you have to use it straight away. Okay. And there's nothing but 0 plus 0 equal to 0. That means x can be equal to minus 1 because x plus 1 has to be 0. Similarly, y is equal to minus 2. If x is minus 2, what does it become? Ax minus 3ay. What does it mean? X is equal to minus 1, so minus a. Minus 3, a, and what is y equal to? Minus 2. So minus a plus 6a. Okay. Okay. Minus a plus 6a is equal to 1, or 5a equal to 1. So a is equal to 1 by 5. Round 1 question is straightforward. Ultimately, क्या use करना है? 0 plus 0 equal to 0. Okay. Question number 17. A fruit seller has certain number of apples, bananas, and oranges at the start of the day. Okay. The number of bananas was 10 more than the number of apples. Number of bananas was 10 more than the number of apples. And the total number of bananas and apples was a multiple of 11. She was able to sell 70% of the apples, 60% of the bananas, and 50% of the oranges during the day. So 70% apple nikal diye, 60% banana, 50% orange in the day. If she was able to sell 55% of the fruits she had at the start of the day, then the minimum number of oranges she had at the start of the day was how many? Minimum number of oranges, what we need to find out. क्या करोगे इसमें? Round 1, round 2, round 3. Once question 15 का कुछ प्रॉब्लम था क्या तुम्हें? ठीक है, वंश इसको अलग से सॉल्व कर लेंगे. राइट नाउ माय फोकस इज टू लुक एट द बेस्ट वे ऑफ सॉल्विंग द क्वेश्चन, एंड इफ इट इज राउंड 2 और राउंड 3, हाउ टू सॉल्व इट. So don't worry too much if you are leaving a few questions. Okay, but ये question देख लो. This is a round 2 question. Why round 2? You'll have to form equations to solve. Okay, it is not going to be a straightforward question. ना सीधा दिखता है क्या करना है. You have apples, bananas, and oranges. Okay, the number of bananas was 10 more than the number of apples. So if you say apples is x, bananas will be x plus 10, and oranges is y. Okay, she was able to sell 70% of the apples, so 0.7x apples are sold. 60% of the bananas, 0.6 of, and 50% of the oranges. So इसको 2y ले लें, कैलकुलेशन थोड़ी सी आसान हो जाएगी. Okay, and overall she was able to sell 55%. She was able to sell 55% of the fruit. This is equal to 55% of x plus 10 plus 2y. Now you have to work your way through with this, isn't it? So there's a question जिसमें तुमको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, which is why this is a round 2 question. Okay, so this is not a question which I would recommend you do it in round 1. Yes, you look at it in round 2 because there's a question which you'll have to form multiple equations and then find the minimum number of oranges. Okay, now round 2 में कैसे करोगे? बेसिक जुगाड़ लगाना होगा इसमें. Okay, पहली चीज बताओ, what is the number x likely to be? Okay, look at this number x. 0.7x has to be an integer, na? And 0.6 into x plus 10 also has to be integer. What does that mean? X should be a multiple of 10. Isn't it? And similarly, x plus 10 should also be a multiple of 10. ठीक है? So सीधा दिखता है इसके अंदर. If you are little careful in terms of checking the numbers, you'll realize straight away that this has to be an integer. That means x has to be a multiple of 10. This also has to be an integer. That means x again. X plus 10 also should be a multiple of 10. That means what are the numbers? And remember, the sum of these two should be a multiple of 11. Any multiple of 11. And both these numbers, that means x has to be a multiple of x plus 10 has to be a multiple of 10. That means 2x plus 10 should be a multiple of 11. 2x plus 10 should be a multiple of 11. का कौन सा सबसे छोटा multiple है जो 10 का multiple है? 110. That means x should be 50 and this should be equal to 60. I hope this is clear. Any doubts, anyone? Okay. I'll just rewrite this part because this is where people get confused many times. Okay. So we have apples, bananas, and oranges. If this is x, this is x plus 10, and this is 2y. Okay. And it says the number of bananas and apples, these two have to be, which is 2x plus 10, should be a multiple of 11. Okay. Secondly, the number of apples sold is 0.7x and number of bananas sold is 0.6 into x plus 10. That means this has to be an integer and 0.6 into x plus 10 also should be an integer. What does that mean? X should be a multiple of 10. X plus 10 should be a multiple of 10. Okay. Now, the moment I say x and x plus 10 have to be a multiple of 10, that means 2x plus 10 should also be a multiple of 10. So the smallest possible value for this is going to be 110, or x is equal to 50 and x plus 10 equal to 60. Now you can solve the question very easily. Now the moment I have said x को 50 ले लेते हैं, y को banana को 60 ले लेते हैं. If this is 50 and this is 60, okay, and this is 2y, what is it that we have total? We have 110 plus 2y. Okay. Okay. And how many are sold? 70% are sold, so 35 are sold. 60% of bananas were sold, so 36 were sold. 50% of oranges were sold, so y was sold. And what are the total sold? 71 plus y. Now 71 plus y has to be 55%. Has to be 55% of 110 plus y. 110 plus 2y. Okay. Please solve the equation. You'll get the answer and you can do it. Now, this is a simple jugaad which you can apply provided you are able to pick out ki yaar 70% of apples and 60% of bananas have to be integers. So, both of them have to be multiple of 10. Okay. But this is strictly speaking a round 2 question. This is not a round 1 question. Okay. Question number 18. Okay. The number of real solutions of this equation. Round 1. क्यों मॉड का सवाल है फिर भी राउंड 1 क्यों कह दिया? क्योंकि मैं मालूम है 2 इक्वेशन बनेगी. What are the 2 equations? X square minus 10x minus 56 equal to 0. And the other equation will be x square plus 10x. If x is less than 0, then minus x हो जाएगा. So plus 10x minus 56 equal to 0. I have to solve 2 equations and get the answer. This is a straightforward round 1 question. They should definitely be attempted. Unlike question number 17, जो मालूम है टाइम लगेगा इक्वेशन बनानी पड़ेगी तब जाके होगा, that we are able to pick out and do it faster in round 2 is a separate issue. But this is not a round 1 question, this is a round 2 question, and this is a straightforward round 1 question because you can straight away solve the question without by making 2 equations. Minus 56 na, so what does it become? X square minus 14x plus 4x minus 56 equal to 0. And this is x square plus 14x minus 4x minus 56 equal to 0. So you can solve this equation. So please solve this. And remember, we are looking at real solutions. So please solve this question. And by making the 2 equations. मॉड में ज्यादा तकलीफ मत लो, दोनों इक्वेशन लिखो, सॉल्व करो, कोई शॉर्टकट लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. The number of solutions of this equation, x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 equal to 50. Just give me are integers with x greater than equal to 1, x2 greater than equal to 2, x3 greater than equal to 0. Okay. Now this is either a round 1 question or a round 3 question. अगर तुम्हें डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन मालूम है, परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन में डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन effectively a plus b plus c plus d equal to 50 वाला है ना ये. The moment you say x is greater than equal to 1, okay, so that means यहाँ पे, and similarly this greater than equal to 2, it effectively becomes greater than equal to, effectively this becomes 47. So if you understand this aspect, if there's a permutation, combination, distribution, etc., you understand fully, then this is a round 1 question. Otherwise, this is a question you should leave. This is either a round 1 or a leave question, depending upon your comfort with the topic. Okay. So, next question. Question number 20. The number of values of x for which this is defined. Round 1 question. ये क्यों राउंड 1 कह रहा हूं? ये भी तो कॉम्बिनेशन है, परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन इस वाले को कर दिया बिकॉज ये थोड़ा सा हाई लेवल कॉन्सेप्ट है जिसका बहुत लोगों को कंफर्ट नहीं होता. दिस इज अ स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट. ओके, प्लीज टेल मी इफ यू हैव एनसीआर, r has to be greater than equal to 0 and n has to be greater than equal to r. यही तो कंडीशन है ना. I have to apply the same 2 conditions here. What does that mean? 3x plus 1 has to be greater than equal to 0. Okay. 3x plus 1 has to be greater than equal to 0. Okay. And the other question is 17 minus x should be greater than or equal to 3x plus 1. Okay. So 16 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 4x, or x is less than or equal to 4. चलो दूसरा वाला भी कर लेते हैं. So 3x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 1. That means 3x is greater than or equal to minus 1, or x is greater than or equal to minus 1 by 3. So what is the values of x possible? Look at both of these. Minimum value of x 0. Next will be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a round 1 question क्योंकि ये basic है. This is a round 2 or this is a round 1 or round 3 question because it's high level concept and many of you are not comfortable with this concept and hence you should be leaving the question. If you are comfortable तो बिल्कुल करना चाहिए, नहीं हो तो एकदम छोड़ देना चाहिए. Okay, question 21. Let ABC be a triangle where AB equal to AC. अच्छी बात है क्यों isosceles triangle बना दिया. and D a point on BC such that angle BAD, okay, BAD, okay, is 30 degrees. Okay. Okay. Angle A. AB equal to AC. Okay. This is a triangle. Let DA be a point on BC such that angle BAD, okay, angle BAD भी 30 डिग्री. ओ, कुछ और बना दिया मैंने फिगर. चलो कोई बात नहीं, ट्रायंगल बना लेते हैं कुछ भी. आइसोसेलेस ट्रायंगल. ओके. AB equal to AC. D be a point on AC, BC, sorry, such that angle BAD. Okay, इसको B बोल देता हूं, just to make my life a little simpler. This is 30 degree. This is D. If E is a point on AC, such that AD equal to AE. AD equal to AE. AD is equal to AE. Okay. Then angle CDE. CDE. We need to find this particular angle. Round 2. Or leave. टाइम लगेगा, सोचना पड़ेगा, बाद में सोचेंगे. देखो, जिस सवाल में सोचना पड़ता है ना, वो राउंड 2 या राउंड 3 होता है. स्वरूप, जीरो को मिस कर गए तुम क्या? या the Swarup, you forgot to count 0. X has to be greater than or equal to minus 1 by 3. That means x equal to 0 is possible. X less than equal to 4. ठीक है, तो ये तुम मिस कर गए थे. चलो कोई बात नहीं. ठीक है, बट दिस इज अ राउंड 2 और अ लीव क्वेश्चन फॉर मेनी ऑफ यू. इट इज अ लीव क्वेश्चन बिकॉज़ ज्योमेट्री में लोगों को वैसे ही हाथ तंग है, छोड़ देना चाहिए है. ठीक है, सो डोंट वरी. Yeah, those of you are giving the answers 30. I don't have an issue. That's perfectly fine. But my point is, you need to first decide round 1, round 2, or leave. That is what you need to decide for yourself. Boss, करना है कि नहीं करना? ये और बातें बिना पढ़े मैं डिसाइड नहीं कर सकता. But once I read the question, for me this is a round 2 question. मेरे टाइम लगे and choices बहुत पास है. I could end up making mistake. I look at this later. That is the way I will look at doing this particular question. ठीक है, चलो. Question 22. Round 1 or leave. Okay. Question 22 again is a round 1 or leave question. Why? Either you know the concept of finding the number of digits or you don't know the concept. Okay. The numbers are expanded and their digits are written out consecutively on page. The total number of digits written on the pages. Are you aware of the concept? Okay. How to calculate the number of digits? Okay. If you don't know how to calculate the number of digits, you should leave it. अगर आता है तो सीधा कर लोगे. So this is either a round 1 or round 3 question. बीच की चीज है ही नहीं. आता है सीधे करो, नहीं तो छोड़ दो इसको और आगे चलो. So don't worry about question which you don't know. Worry only about yes, absolutely right, Vedant. You have to use logs. But आता है कि नहीं is the question. Many of you don't know the concept, तो छोड़ दो. Vedant, you should be doing it in round 1. Those who don't know should be leaving the question straight away. Okay. Question number 23. The terms of geometric progression are real and positive. GP are real and positive. P term of the progression and Q term of the is P. P term is P and Q term is so P term is Q and Q term is P. The log of the first term. बाद में सोचेंगे. सवाल देखते ही समझ आ गया कि औकात के ऊपर है. It is either round 2 or round 3 question. Round 2 या round 3 में आके फुर्सत में देखेंगे. हो जाएगा तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, तो छोड़ देंगे. Okay, so don't worry about question which you don't know how to solve. Okay, चलो ये दिखता है ना, divides the saving. ये दिखता है, this is a percentage question. Simple interest और compound interest का सवाल होगा. This is likely to be an easy question. Let me do this question and not worry about the others. Okay, so remember the question will give you a hint whether कहना चाहिए कि नहीं. This is a question which I think you should look at attempting because this is straightforward. दिखता है percentage SICI वाला सवाल है. चलो सॉल्व करते हैं. पढ़ तो ले पहले. Sagarika divides the savings of rupees 10,000 to invest across two schemes A and B. Scheme A offers an interest rate of 10% per annum, compounded half yearly, while Scheme B offers a simple interest rate of 12% per annum. Scheme B is simple interest. Scheme A is compound interest, compounded half yearly at 10%. If at the end of first year, the value of our investment in Scheme B exceeds the value of our investment in Scheme A by 2310 rupees, then the total interest in rupees earned by Sagarika during the first year is how much? Total interest in rupees earned by Sagarika during the first year of investment is how much? Okay. Now, this is a round one question is what I would say. अगर इक्वेशन बनाओगे तब भी हो जाएगा, बट ये शायद बिना इक्वेशन के भी देख सकते हो. अच्छा, पहली चीज बताओ. Okay, yes, many of you may want to do it in round 2, but definitely round 3 का तो नहीं है. How is it typically done? You will say, assume the in scheme A she has put in A rupees. So scheme B में कितना आएगा? A minus 10,000 minus A. In scheme A, she will get an interest of 10% compounded half yearly. What is 10% compounded half yearly? It is two successive increments of 5%. A plus B plus AB by 100. So it is 10.25%. So in 1 year, she'll get 10.25% interest, 10.25% of A. And on the other one, she'll get 12% of 10,000 minus A. There's the interest. Okay. So what will the amount be? Plus A plus 10,000 minus A. This should be equal to. Okay. So the value of our investment in the value of our investment in the 2 is going to be. Okay. So what is our investment in scheme A after 1 year? After 1 year, it becomes 110%, 110.25. So 1.1025 of A and 1.12 of, as per the question, the difference between the two is this fine with everyone? Any doubts? First of all, 10% per annum compounded half yearly is nothing but two successive increments of 5%. So it is 10.25% per annum. Okay. Secondly, if I have invested A rupees in scheme A, then B is going to be 10,000 minus A. Right? So after 1 year in scheme A, the amount will be 1.1025A. After 1 year, the amount of scheme will be 1.12 into 10,000 minus A. As per the question, the difference between the two is going to be 2310. Okay. So इसको equation को solve करके A और B निकाल के you can solve it. Okay. Perfectly fine. Now let me come to a simple जुगाड़ for this question. Okay. अब एक बात बताओ. First of all. Okay. Let me just. हो ही गया चलो. Okay. If A is equal to B equal to 5,000. Okay. Let me say A is equal to 5,000, B equal to 5,000. So what is 10.25% of A? 10% of 5,000 is 500. 1% is 50. Okay. 1% is 50. And if 1% is 50, that means 0.25% will be 12.5. So this is 512.5. And what is 12% of B? It's 600. So what is the amount? Amount will be 5,512.5 and यहाँ पे कितना होगा? 5,600. Okay. So B is greater. This is greater. But tell me, what is this telling you? यहाँ से कुछ समझ आता है क्या? This is telling you that B has to be greater than A. If both A and B are equal, the difference between the two is negligible, with B being greater than A. That means, as per the question, our investment in scheme B exceeds the value of investment in scheme A by 2310 rupees. That means B should be greater than A. Is this fine? I'll just wait for you people to give me the thumbs up or either way. Chalo. Okay. Now, take a chance. The difference is 2310. So why should I not say A, B equal to 6,000 and A equal to 4,000? Because देखो difference कहाँ पे आएगा? This difference of 2,000 plus interest. So the way you look at this question straight away दिखता है 6,000 और 4,000 होना चाहिए. My starting point for this question is that B has to be greater than A because the rate of interest of B is 12% while that of A is 10.25%. 10% per annum means 10.25%. 10% per annum compound interest, that means it is 10.25%. That means B has to be greater than A and the difference is slightly more than 2,000 rupees. That means B should be 6,000, A should be 4,000. Okay. So check for B equal to 6,000. B equal to 6,000. What is the interest going to be? 12% will be 12% of 6,000 is 720. 6,720. Okay. And what is A going to be? 4,000. And what is 10.25%? Will be 410. Okay. And then you can, what do you get out here? 4, 12, 10, 12, 8, 10.25, 10%, 400. Yeah, 4.4410. What's the difference between the two? 7 minus 4. Bingo. Okay. Now, kahan pe ye tha mera? The moment you are able to pick up that A has to be less than B and the difference is 2,000 plus something, that means A and B ka difference bhi 2,000 hi hona chahiye. This is what you should be. Yes, sir. Kunsh, I hope you have understood now. After all, the difference between them is 2,000, slightly more than 2,000. So A और B में भी 2,000 का difference नहीं होगा if A and B are 7,000 and 3,000. If B is 7,000 and A is 3,000, then the difference between the amount will be more than 3,000, more than 4,000. So if this difference is 2,300, the difference between A and B should be about 2,000. That is what is something which you could have straight away looked at. Okay. Okay. अच्छा चलो एक और चीज बताओ. चलो ये भी इसको और आसान कर देते हैं. A equal to A has to be less than 5. Okay. A has to be less than B. Okay. Now, please tell me B is equal to 5,000. What is the interest? What is the question? Then the total interest in rupees earned by Sagarika during the first year of investment. Okay. If B is equal to 5,000 and A equal to 5,000, what is the total interest B will receive? It will be 12%, which is equal to 600 rupees. 12 5 is 60. Yeah. And A is going to be how much? 10.25%. 10% is 500 and 50, 512.5. So my answer, can I say my answer should be greater than 112.5? Wrong. Wrong. अब ठीक है, Kunsh. Right? Kunsh and others. So I could have done the question here itself. मुझे और भी लिखाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Because the question is asking what is the total interest earned by Sagarika during the first year. If A is equal to B, then the interest earned is 11,112.5. If A is less than B, then the interest will be greater than 1,112.5. Okay. So the correct answer among the choices can only be 1130. Okay. Question 25. Let ABC be an equilateral triangle with a side of length K. If a circle is drawn on diameter AB, then the area of the portion of triangle lying inside the circle is how much? Okay. ABC equilateral triangle, triangle बना के देखेंगे. Okay. So we have A, B, ABCB equilateral triangle. Circle is drawn on diameter AB. If you draw a circle of diameter AB, what will you get? Okay. If K is drawn, if a circle is drawn on diameter AB, the area of the portion of the triangle lying inside the circle. Okay. Okay. Now, I have not drawn the figure correctly, but ठीक है, बना लेते हैं. ऐसा कुछ आएगा ना? This is a radius. This is a radius. This is a radius. This is a radius. This is the point where the circle and the triangle are touching. Okay. So if these two are equal, okay, and so is this, what does it mean? 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. Okay. So area of the portion of triangle lying inside the circle, you can calculate it then. Okay. So these are effectively nothing but three. This is a sector of the circle. Okay. There is a sector of the circle. What is this equal to? Area of the circle. Okay. Area of the circle. Each side of length K. Let K be equal to 2. If K is equal to 2, that means this is 1. This is 1. Okay. So what is this? Pi into R square by 6. Area is 1/6 of the thing. Okay. So this is a question you can solve, and in question memorization always be put the value of K. Okay. Give K a value, because if you give K a value, your calculation becomes that much more easier. Otherwise, many times you will struggle with it. Okay. Figure ठीक नहीं बना है थोड़ा सा. Let me just get the figure correct. एक मिनट पहले. Let me draw the circle first. Yeah. ये है ना? हाँ. Now it is better. Okay. So I have taken K equal to 2. K equal to 2 means this is 1, this is 1. Okay. Now you can solve it. Always, or even if you take K, if you take work on the basis of K, then each of these is K by 2. And थोड़ा सा calculation में तकलीफ आ जाती है, but that is also fine. Okay. Okay. Third thing, can you eliminate any choice? I can start by saying choice 1 and 3 गलत है. Okay. Can you just tell me why? Why are choice 1 and 3 wrong? Anyone? Because this will be sum. It is going to be A plus B plus C. A equal to B तो ठीक है. But is A plus B plus C तो ये minus कहाँ से आ रहा है? गलत है. Okay. ये और बात है, that still mean you still have to do the work. But end of the day, there's a question which can be solved if you are okay with the basics of this part. Okay. Okay. So, two equilateral triangles. This is equilateral triangle. This is equilateral triangle, and there is a sector of the circle. Okay. These are what I call round one pattern questions. Pattern identify करना होता है. I don't have to worry about 2 to power 300, 3 to power 200, 4 to power 100, 2 to power 100, plus 3 to power 100. I will look at 2 cube, 3 square, 4 to power 1, 2 to power 1 plus 3 to power 1. जो इसके लिए सही है वो इसके लिए भी सही है. ये सीधा पैटर्न वाले सवाल होते हैं. ठीक है. What is 2 cube? 8. 3 square? 9. We are looking for the biggest number, so this is out. 4 to power 1? 4, so this is also out. This is also out. 2 plus 3? 5. This is also out. Correct answer? 3 square, or which means 3 to power 200. These are questions where your job is to identify the patterns or look at the smallest number possible and do it uniformly. So all I did was सब में से 0 0 हटा के फिर काम कर लिया. Okay, how will that triangle be equilateral? एक मिनट यार फिर से बता देता हूँ. Let me just do the figure. Triangle equilateral में confuse. यार ये थोड़ा सा मेहनत लगती है फिगर बनाने में. टैबलेट पे। Okay. After all, this is going to be side of the triangle. Each of the three sides are the same. Okay. They are equilateral triangles. Okay. So this is 1. Okay. And this will also be 1. Or this is going to be k by 2. This is k, so this will be k by 2 and k by 2. And this is also k by 2 and k by 2. Okay. Chalo. Question 27. Okay. Again, this is either a round 1 or a round 3 question. Okay. There's either a round 1 or round 3 question. Why? क्योंकि logs हैं. अगर log आता है तो straight away कर लोगे, नहीं आता तो छोड़ दोगे. Okay. So please don't waste your time trying to understand the question in the time of the paper. In the paper, you just attempt what you know, you keep leaving the other question. Okay. Okay. Log of 10 base x is nothing but okay. Similarly, get them both to base of x and you can get compared. Okay. So my point is there's a round 1 question if you understand logs. If you don't understand logs, इस सवाल को छोड़ के आगे चल देना. शक्ल देखते ही पता चलता है काम का नहीं है. But देख लेते हैं. The side AB of triangle ABC is C and median BD of length K. Okay. So let me look at a triangle. ABC is C, median BD is K. These two are equal. Angle BDA is less than 90 theta. Then the area of triangle ABC, leave. Time waste करना ही नहीं है, समझ नहीं आया ना, सवाल छोड़ दो, आगे चलो. I would rather do this question. The smallest possible number of students in a class, if the girls in the class are less than 50% and more than 40%, 48%. What does that mean? If the total number of students is x, 48% means 0.48x should be an integer, or should be, okay, this is the minimum number of girls in the class, and maximum number of girls in the class is 0.5x. इन दोनों के बीच में कोई इंटीजर तो होना चाहिए ना, because the number of girls cannot be a decimal. You cannot have 7.3 girls in the class. You'll either have 7 or 8 girls. So start checking the choices. If x is equal to 25, what will be the maximum number of girls? 12.5. What is 48% of 25? 48% of 25 is equal to 25% of 48, right? Which is nothing but 12. Okay. Oh, not minimum. Minimum is greater than and maximum is less than. Okay. So what does it mean? If x is 25, the number of girls has to be less than, greater than 12 and less than 12.5. What does that mean? The number of girls will be a decimal. Not possible. That means 25 cannot be the answer. Now do the same thing for next one. If x is equal to 27, why am I starting with 25? Because the question is asking for smallest number. जब सवाल ने smallest number पूछा तो मैं smallest से चालू करूंगा. If x is equal to 27, 50% is number of girls will be less than 13.5. And what is 48% of 27? 50% of 27 minus 2% of 27. 50% is 13.5. 10% is 2.7. 1% will be 0.27. and 2% will be 0.54. What does it become? 12.96. So the number of girls has to be more than 12.96 and less than 13.5. So that means the number of girls should be 13. Correct answer, choice 3. Okay. Venn diagram set theory. कहना चाहिए ना ये. Round 1 question. In a survey of 500 people, it was found 250 own 4-wheelers, but not 2-wheelers. 100 own 2-wheelers, but not 4-wheelers. And 100 own neither of the two. यार ये तो बहुत आसान सवाल है. You have a 4-wheelers and 2-wheelers. They are total of 500. 250 on 4-wheelers, but not 2-wheelers. So this is 250. 100 on 2-wheelers, but not a 4-wheelers. 100 on 2-wheeler and 100 on neither of the two. So minus 100. So total कितने होने चाहिए? 400 होने चाहिए. So number of people who own both is going to be 250 plus 100 plus x should be equal to 400. So x should be equal to 50. Simple, straightforward सवाल है. अब सोचो अगर ये सवाल करने बैठ जाओगे, if you start attempting this question and you miss out on this question, is it worth attempting that stupid question? Yeah, we'll skip this question because सवाल गलत था. ठीक है? But one of the things which you need to remember is that if you look at the question, you're confused, you're not able to make head or tail of it, or you're not getting the answer, just leave it and move on. Okay. Next question. For some non-zero real values of A, B, C, it is given that is, what is B plus C upon A equal to? Okay, B plus C upon A is what we need to find. Now, we are given B upon C minus 3 by 4. Let's say minus. Okay. Okay. What does that mean? It means B and C are opposite signs. Right? Secondly, it says AC is greater than 0. That means A and C are same sign. Start making cases. Supposing I take B equal to minus 3. Then C will be equal to 4. AC is equal, A and C have the same sign. Remember, A and C have the same sign. So if C is equal to 4, what will be A? A will be 1. Mod of C by A is 4. That means A can be plus 1 or minus 1. But A and C both have to be the same sign. So that means A should be equal to 1. Okay. So what should my answer be? Answer will be B is minus 3 plus 4 upon 1, which is equal to 1. Correct answer, choice 1. ऐसे क्वेश्चन राउंड 1 के होते, सिंपल जुगाड़ ये है, टेक वैल्यूज, सब्स्टिट्यूट वैल्यूज एंड गेट द आंसर. डोंट ट्राई टू वर्क ऑन वेरिएबल. वैल्यू डाल के आंसर निकाल लो. Okay. 5 boys, 3 girls randomly sit across a circular table. The probability that there will be at least one boy sitting between any two girls is how much? It's either round 1 or round 3. क्यों? Probability आती है तो round 1 है, नहीं आती तो छोड़ दोगे. Many of you will may not be able to solve circular probability, then leave it. But जो solve कर सकते हैं, can you tell me? Okay, let me say these two are wrong choices. Can you tell me ये दोनों गलत क्यों है? Can you tell me why are these two choices wrong? We are finding the probability. There are 8 people. That in total number of cases will be, if there are 8 students, the total sample space or total number of cases will be 7 factorial. Denominator में 7 तो पक्का आएगा. अगर डिनोमिनेटर में 7 आएगा तो भैया मेरा आंसर 1/7 या 2/7 ही हो सकता है. Okay, but my point is, it is either a round 1 or a round 3 question. There's not a round 2 question. Either you know the concept or you don't know the concept. You know the concept, do it straight away. Okay. Yes, Vedant, absolutely right. Okay. Otherwise, you leave it. Okay. Now, very quickly, in how many ways can 5 boys be seated? And how many gaps are between the girls, between the boys, where the girls can be seated? Yeah. In a circular table, in how many ways can 5 boys be seated? It will be 4 factorial. And these 3 girls, at least 1 boy sitting between any 2 girls. That means the girls can be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps. The first girl can sit in any of the 5 places, second girl in any of the 4 places, remaining 4 into 3 upon 7 factorial. Either a round 1 or a round 3 question, there is not anything in between. Okay. What does it become? 5 into 4 into 3 and 7 into 6 into 5. 3, 2 is 6, 2 by 7. Okay. Okay. Question 34. A boat goes 96 kilometers upstream. A boat goes 96 kilometers upstream in 8 hours and covers the same distance moving downstream in 6 hours. On the next day, the boat starts from point A, goes downstream for 1 hour, then upstream for 1 hour. Repeat this 4 more times. That is 5 upstream and 5 downstream journeys. Where will the boat be? ये तो simple सवाल है ना. ये तो round 1 का सवाल है ना. 96. So what is the upstream speed? 12 kilometers per hour. 96 by 8, 12 8 is 96. Downstream speed 6. So downstream is 96 by 6, 16 kilometers per hour. This is definitely round 1. So what happens? If it starts from here, what does it do? It goes downstream first, 16 kilometers, and then it comes back in 1 hour, 12 kilometers. So why is it 4 kilometers away from the original space? So it is 4 kilometers downstream in 1 journey. In 5 journeys, what will it become? 4 into 5, 20. इससे आसान सवाल टाइम स्पीड डिस्टेंस का नहीं मिल सकता. ये सवाल मिस करोगे क्योंकि क्वेश्चन 34 है. और क्यों मिस करोगे? क्योंकि ये वाला सवाल सॉल्व कर रहे हो, क्योंकि ये वाला सवाल सॉल्व कर रहे हो, क्योंकि नहीं आता लॉग लेकिन बेकार का पंगा ले रहे हो, ये सवाल समझ नहीं आया लेकिन सॉल्व कर रहे हो, तो ये सवाल नहीं आता सॉल्व कर रहे हो. If you do such a thing, you will keep missing out on the easy question, which is why, remember, one of the key things to do in this paper is to leave questions. Leaving questions is as important as attempting questions. Again, logs. आता है कि नहीं आता? Okay. अगर log नहीं आता है तो छोड़ दो, log आता है तो करो. Again, a round 1 or a round 3 question. Please remember, this is not the question you should be attempting if you don't know logs. If you know logs, please do it. If you don't know, just leave it and keep moving on. And remember, इसके अंदर DI/LR का भी एक, there is one set of DI also, na, for which you should keep at least 5-7 minutes with you. Okay, so there's either round 1 or round 3. Okay, but by the way, what is log of A minus log of B? And what is log of A plus log of B? If you know this, this is round 1 question. If you don't know this, then there is round 3 question. इसमें कुछ और नहीं है. So your job at every stage is to evaluate कि आता है कि नहीं आता है. And remember, if you are doing about 15 questions in the paper, in MCQ, you have done a good job of the paper, you will usually not be able to do more than 20 questions. Why 20 questions? 2 minutes per question. At the rate of 2 minutes per question, if you are doing, that means you can afford to leave 10 odd questions. Okay? Yeah, absolutely right, Chaitanya. Okay? So the key thing here is कि यार वो सवाल करो जो आता है. If you know this particular funda, ये पक्का हो जाएगा. If you don't know this funda, ये नहीं होगा. क्यों टाइम बर्बाद करो? Leave the question and keep moving on. Okay? Question 36. Draw the figure. Round 1 question again. The shortest distance of a point to a given circle is 4 centimeters and the longest distance is 9 centimeters. चलो एक सर्कल बनाते हैं. Shortest distance is 4 meters. 4 centimeters. Longest will be 9. That means this will be 5 or the radius will be 2.5. ठीक है? So the radius of the circle can be 2.5, but there's another choice given. लिखते हैं उसको भी. Now अगर ये point बाहर हो सकता है तो अंदर भी तो हो सकता है. Again the same thing. Center of the circle. If this is the point and this is 4 centimeter, that means this will be 9 centimeter. Okay. If this is going to be 9 centimeter, that means this is x and this is 9 minus x. 4 plus x is equal to 9 minus x. So x is equal to 2.5. Or the radius of the circle becomes equal to 6.5. Correct answer choice 2. केसेस बनाने ड्रॉ करके सामने दिख जाएगा, प्लीज कर लो. ये सवाल नहीं मिस होना चाहिए है. Okay. These are always round one questions. ठीक है, these are always round one question. But इससे पहले मैं एक छोटी सी चीज तुमको देना चाहता हूं, याद कर लो, हेल्प मिलेगी. Okay, these are the only two right angle triangles which you'll encounter in trigonometry, because because you know the values of sin theta, cos theta, tan theta of these angles only, na? You know the values of 30, 60, 30, 45, 60 and 90 and 0. इन्हीं पांच की sin, cos, tan वालों, इसलिए your question typically appear on these only. Okay. Now what you need to remember is this is side opposite in a 30, 60, 90 triangle. If this is x, the other side opposite 60 degree will be x root 3 and this will be 2x. ये sin cos tan लगा के भी निकाल लोगे, but रट्टा मार लो, x root 2. If you remember this, you will end up saving a lot of time. So the way I look at this is 1 root 3 and 2. And what about this? 1 root 2. Just remember this, it will save you a lot of time in the paper, because otherwise paper mein sin cos tan laga ke you'll end up wasting time. Now let's look at this particular question. Angle of elevation of top of a pole from point A on the ground is 30 degrees. Angle A is 30 degrees. Angle of elevation, okay, of a pole, okay. Hold on. From a point A on the ground is 30 degrees. Okay. The angle of elevation changes to 45 degrees after moving 20 meters. Okay. If angle of elevation changes to 45 degrees after moving 20 meters. What is the height of the pole? So if I say this is x, this will be x root 3. If this angle is 30 degrees, this big angle is going to be 60 degrees. And this chotu angle is 45 degrees. And this is also x. So can I say x root 3 minus x is equal to 20? Or x is equal to 20 upon root 3 minus 1? इनमें rationalize तो करना ही होता है. So what is x going to be equal to? 20 upon root 3 minus 1 into root 3 plus 1. What is that? 20 into root 3 plus 1. A square minus b square will be 3 minus 1, 2. Okay. But please remember, because मेरे को ये याद है, the ratio of sides in the 30, 60, 90 right triangle is 1 is to root 3 is to 2. I was straight away putting these values and saving time. Okay. As I said, round 1 है तो. The difference between the maximum and minimum real root of this equation. Okay. The maximum and minimum real root of this equation is how much? Round 1. Value substitute करके देखना है. Again, look at this. This will always be positive and this will always be positive because power 4 है. This can never be negative. Okay. So let's check. X square minus 5 raised to power 4 plus x square minus 7 raised to power 4 is equal to 16. What is 16? 2 to power 4. Okay. So मेरे को either this has to become 2 to power 4 or this has to become 2 to power 4. Okay. So If x is equal to x square is equal to 5, what does it become? 0. 5 square minus 5 plus 2 to power 4 equal to 16. So what does that mean? The roots will be plus root 5 and minus root 5. Okay. चलो ये भी तो 0, ये एक दूसरा केस ले लेते हैं. X square is equal to 7. So what does this become? 7 minus 5 raised to power 4 plus 0, which is nothing but 2 to power 4 or 16. Then the roots become under root 7 and minus under root 7. So the difference between the maximum real root and minimum real root क्या होगा? Maximum real root is under root 7, minimum is minus 2 root 7. इतना straightforward सवाल है. People leave it just because they don't understand. Remember, most of these questions can just put an equation, put a value and solve. After all, the moment you look at 16 and you can say it is 2 to power 4, you should be able to say, okay, या तो इसको 2 to power 4 करना है या इसको 2 to power 4 करना है. Okay. If theta is the angle between the pair of tangents drawn from this point to this circle, what is tan theta equal to? Please. Practically for all of you, I will say leave this question करने लायक नहीं है क्योंकि इसमें time waste करोगे and we still have the DI set in front of us. I want to definitely put 5-6 minutes. So as far as I am concerned, out of the 40 minutes which I have to do question 1 to 40, question number 16 to 40 in about 30, 32, 33 minutes. And the last 5 questions, question numbers 41 to 45, which is typically a DI set, that I want to give at least 5 to 6 minutes for myself. तो ये छोड़ दूंगा मैं, मेरे को नहीं करना है. After all, circle है, tan theta है, circle है. I'll have to look at those tangents on the point, and so to me it is not a question I'm very keen on attempting right now. Okay. Question number 40. The sum of given infinite geometric progression is 80, and the sum of first two terms is 35. Then the value for n, for which the sum of n terms is closest to 100, is what? Okay. This is a round 2 question. Come back to it later if you have time. Why? Look at this. Sum of infinite terms is equal to 80. And sum of first term plus sum of two terms is equal to 35. And most importantly, saying sum of 1 plus sum of 2. भैया ये ज्यादा क्यों है? What does that tell you? That tells you कहीं पे common ratio will be a negative number. And I'll have to probably, and look at the choices. 4, 5, 6, 7. Choices are close, no approximation possible. You have to work your way through it. This is a round 2 question. It can be solved. After all, b upon 1 minus r is equal to 80. b plus b r is equal to 35. 2 variables in 2 equations, I can solve it. But I need to remember r will have to be negative, and this is a question just likely to take time. Okay. So round 2 question. Okay. And then you have this 41 to 45. Okay. 41 to 45, kar lena isko. I'm not getting into it. But again, I want you to look at something which we have done so far. And quickly, let me note it down in my rough sheet also. Just give me a minute. Let me pick up a rough sheet also. Okay. I'm just looking at round 1, round 2, round 3 questions. Round 1, round 2, and round 3. Question 16th is round 1. 17th is round 2. 18th is round 1. 19th is round 3. Round 1 or round 3, sorry. 19 is round 1 or round 3. Okay. 20 is round 1 again. 21 is it's either round 2 or a leaf. So 20 is round 2. Let me put it there. Sorry, that was 21. 20 kahan gaya? 20 was round 1. Sorry, so 21 ho gaya ye. Okay. Okay. 21 is round 2 or leaf. Okay. 22 is round 1 or leaf. 23 is leave. 24 is round 1. 25 is round 2 possibly, or round 1 or round 2. But let me put it at 25 as round 1 or 2. 26 is round 1. 27 again is round 1 or 3. There's a logs question, 27, sorry. 28 is leave. 29 is round 1 question. 30 is round 1 question. 31 सवाल गलत था इसलिए छोड़ दिया. 32 is round 1 question. 33 is again a round 1 or round 3. 34 is round 1 question. 35 is round 1 or 3 because logs ka hai. Otherwise, while it's a straightforward question, but I think many of you who are uncomfortable logs will probably need to leave it. 36 is round 1 question. 37 is round 1 question. 38 is round 1 question. 39 is I will say leave. Okay. 40 is a round 2 question. Okay. Now 41 to 40, I'm not doing these questions, but again I'll just write down it for you here. Okay. So round 1, round 2, leave. Okay. 16, 18, 20, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26, 29. 24, 26, 29, 30, 32, 34, 34, 36, 37, 38. Round 2 are definitely 17 and 40. Leave is definitely 23, 28, 39. In addition to this, questions which are either round 1 or round 3, for example, logs wale jo sawal hai, that is question 19, 22, 33, 27, 33, 35. Okay. And then we have 21 is either round 1 or leave, round 2 or leave. Round 2 or leave is question 21. Okay. 22 is round 2, okay, 21, 2 also. Okay, so now look at this. But बाकी सब छोड़ दो. Just look at this part. How many questions have we done here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And what was the cutoff required? 9. हमने 13 round 1 कर लिए, ये critical है. And in addition to this, what is still pending for you? The 5 questions of DI. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 plus 5, 18 questions. And इनमें से भी एक दो कर लोगे तो 20 सवाल हो जाते हैं. And that is what I want you to remember, that as far as this paper is concerned, your job is to pick out the right question and keep leaving questions. लोग समझते हैं इस पेपर में मेरा काम सवाल करना है, नहीं, तुम्हारा सवाल छोड़ना भी काम है. Any question, I am again repeating, any question that you are doubtful of. Okay? So your job is to attend the easy questions that you are sure of. Any question you don't know, leave. Any question which you are doubtful of, or which is time consuming, okay, keep it for round 2. Ye wale kar lo. Every paper you will have at least 12 to 13 such questions, plus the 5 DI questions. Okay, plus the 5 questions of DI. Together, how much does that become? 18 to 20 such questions are always there. So ये 18 से 20 की चिंता करो. Don't worry about these questions which are difficult or time consuming. They are the questions you have to leave in the paper. Okay. ये ठीक है, कुंज ने अच्छा बोला. राउंड 1 ए अभी करो, राउंड 2 बाद में करो, और राउंड 3 कभी नहीं करो. ठीक है, ठीक है. So I'll stop here and okay, I'll stop here and and if there are any doubts, I'll be happy to take them. Okay, but just one chota sa cheese. My email ID is mentioned here. Okay. In case you have doubts, you can always connect with me. And my phone number is 9811 55160. Any doubts, any issues, we will be happy to connect with you. Okay, so I guess that takes care of the session. Okay. लॉन्ग वेदांत कहता है छोड़ दो, ये ठीक है, एबीसी ये अच्छा है यार, अभी करो बाद में करो, क्वेश्चन वेदांत में आई विल यूज दिस, आई ऑलवेज यूज राउंड 1 राउंड 2 राउंड 3, ये एबीसी अच्छा ज्यादा है, अभी करो बाद में करो छोड़ दो, ये ठीक है एकदम ठीक है. थैंक यू एंड आई विल स्टॉप हियर, बट एज आई सेड माय फोन नंबर इज 9811 55160. My email ID is gp@careerlauncher.com. Any issues, any doubts, feel free to connect with me on with respect to your preparation. Okay. So that's it from my side. I'll stop the session here. Thank you very much.